my God! Parents pleased that rules on meeting outside are cleared up. Yeah, right. Has cleared up its rules on how many people can meet outdoors after growing confusion worried parents. But it didn't. With a national lockdown looming, parents unable to go to baby classes during the COVID-19 restrictions feared that government rules might have made them looking after themselves and their children even harder this winter. Conservative MP Alicia Kearns also came on board with the plight of parents, saying she remembered the loneliness of being a new mother. Yeah, right, whatever. Do you think these people are human, Amy?
I think they're terrible.
So do I. Anyway,
people, yes.
Yeah, terrible. She called on government to make children under the age of 1 exempt from the restrictions on how many people can meet up outside. I suppose that's what it is. People have been writing in and saying, well, I've got a child, so an under 1 child just be part of you, I suppose. So as we prepare to go into the second lockdown, it's important that we support new mums. Really? I remember sorry, it just took me to something else. What the hell's that? Alright, this is her tweet about being and loneliness of being a new mother. Right, okay. Let's get to here. She tweeted, as we prepare to go into the second lockdown, it's important that we support new mums. Oh no, there's that bit again. Remember, Health Minister Nadine Dorries said, children under school age who are with parents will not count towards the limit on 2 people meeting outside. So there you go. So an under 1 and school children are classed as you. So you can have your children and 1 other person with you. Joe Brearley, Chief Executive and founder of it says of there anyway, the parental right group Pregnant then Screwed. That's not a very nice book then, is it? Described the update as a relief to anxious parents, but felt the welfare of mothers and their children should have been thought of from the start. Well, we're just collateral and they don't care. They're just there to frighten people. That's what it is. Where are we? I've lost my place where we are. Yeah. She said, the second lockdown has meant a whole host of new gaps of information for parents that we're desperately trying to fill. Parents of children under school age can breathe a sigh of relief that they can meet one another with that child. These issues really do need to be considered from the outset. But you see, they keep changing the narrative. And no, they haven't thought about all these things. Or they're not, I don't know, anyway. Or maybe this is just the next stage for us. Mums are already anxious and their mental health is deteriorating. It's so critical that they don't feel like an afterthought by the government. And then they put, children under school age who are with their parents will not count towards the limit on 2 people meeting outside. This will mean that a parent can see a friend or family member with their baby or young child. Right, we're nearly at the bottom now. One more paragraph. They also said, whose group has campaigned on this issue, was grateful to ministers for their positive outcome and said if more mothers were part of the strategic planning and decision-making groups in Westminster, then gaps wouldn't need to be filled retrospectively. TV star Kirsty Allsop was amongst those who had raised concerns, tweeting, if you were allowed to meet one another, people while walking outside, that must exclude a baby and a pram. And if it doesn't, it's frankly barbaric. Have we learned nothing about this acute long-term danger to all family members of PND? Labour MP Stella Creasy also wrote, hard to see how a baby is distinct from parent is transmission stakes at such a young age, and given growing crisis of postnatal mental health, vital mums not stuck at home this next month. They also said children under the age, or Doris tweeted, children under the age who are with their parents will not count towards the limit on 2 people meeting outside. This will mean that the parent can see a friend. Well, we've just said all that. Children and adults who are dependent on all-round-clock care, such as those with severe disabilities, will also be included. The guidance will be updated to reflect this. I was telling Amy, though, it is absolutely dead silent outside right now. Yes, it's night time. There's no sirens, no cars going, no dogs barking, no people out. There's nothing. It is dead silent, and it's been really quiet today. So if this is the start of it, before we even get into it, you can actually see what's going to happen then, can't you?
Yes. I just think they're testing people. I just don't see how this is about preventing an illness from spreading. It's like a social experiment to me. How much more can the people take? They're doing something. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not sure if they're doing those boxes, don't forget, on that 5G masts.
Yes, maybe so.
And it was really strange when it said circuit break, you know.
Yes, that's right.
I think it's just to drive people insane, to be honest.
I think they're trying to, and it's just, it's some kind of social experiment to see how far they can take it. Because if this illness is released as so bad and deadly and so forth, I think they have to just really, they would have to really study it and see. Is it dangerous for little babies to be out in their pram, or it just something isn't right? They're doing something psychological to the people.
Well, we've already done that, haven't we? Because all roads lead back to the Watts case.
Yes, absolutely.
It probably leads back much further than that, because obviously that man made that video and it had Bing Crosby as Hitler, so it goes back further than that. But from where we came in, we noticed that everything was wrong with this case, and that was a social... and a lot of them are.
Yes, it's a psychological warfare that they're doing. I just think it's quite obvious. They just want to test and see how far can they push the people before they finally say enough is enough.
Is that because they want to bring martial law in, Amy? And so if they push the people, and then the people will start rebelling in the end. Because what it is it'll be, look at those people rebelling and how bad they are, when actually they're just trying to tell the truth.
Right, that could very well be that they want martial law. I have no idea what they're
telling us how many people we can have in our own homes, right?
Yeah.
I call it communism.
Yes.
They're talking about other countries like China and Russia and how bad they are and what they've been doing. We're not getting any less. We're getting the same.
Exactly.
They're doing it to us.
Well, I think that we need, right, and I think we're, they're kind of laughing at us to a point. I know they try to pretend they're going to do all this
I told
stuff.
you on that last video, who was at the bottom of it? That Kardashian's breasts.
Yeah.
That's how serious they are about it.
Exactly. I think if people would just show, I think that we would get a lot more respect if we just said, this is insane and we're done with this, and we'll take care of our own children and we'll decide what we want to do as far as, See,
we don't even have any proper independent studies to say whether people are really voting. I mean, you've got an election coming up. So I already said, I don't think that you're going to be going in this lockdown till after it's over. But
exactly.
We don't, what it is half of America, 3/4 of America might not vote, but it'll say big majority. You watch.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, I've got my mandate when he didn't.
That's right.
I'm not being horrible here, but everybody who wakes up doesn't follow the politics. You realise that they're all part of it.
Yes, that's the truth. That's right, Karen. That's the truth. But
listen, I know what colour I voted, right? And it is a bit strange because for a while you find it a bit hard. You can't help it. Your mind goes, well, I feel like this, and oh yeah, and you don't even mean to link yourself to it, and then eventually you think no. Even Amy's had to do the same thing. When I met Amy, Poor Amy. Amy met me.
Oh, no, it was a blessing when I met you.
Oh,
Karen.
Amy, I love you.
Wonderful.
And but you did, didn't you? And then over the months when we've been doing all this research, you've changed your mind. It takes a little while to change your mind from it all, but once you do, you
Right.
cannot go back and pretend.
That's right. You just can't. That's right. You can't pretend you didn't see it, or that, you know, you didn't hear it, or it just, you're right. Once you are awake, you can't really go back to sleep.
Yeah. So anybody who's awake, please, the pile of tricks. It's a pile of tricks.
Yes, a pile of tricks.
I don't even know what to say anymore, Amy. I feel quite low about today. I've already apologised to everybody. I'm just so embarrassed that they're doing it. I mean, I knew they would, but, you know, I'm just hoping that they weren't. But I knew they would because I told you I had an email. So
Yes, I know.
So when they were writing that, it hadn't even gone to the press and they hadn't even talked about the second lockdown. But I knew it was going to happen.
Right.
And don't you think it's really weird that they're doing it this side of Christmas, when November can be quite a mild month? It can be quite a cold month, but January, February, and March are definitely cold here. March can go quite nice. The end of March, you can feel like it suddenly goes up to 18 degrees, and it's like having a summer's day, and then it might go to snow afterwards. But
Right.
definitely January and February are really cold. So what's it going to carry on from November, December, January and February? That's 4 months. And this thing that they've written to me about goes up to April next year. So you've got a fair idea what they're going to do.
Yes, that's right. And I think it goes up to May. I heard it somewhere, I don't remember where, in America. Pretty sure I heard it was the next lockdown would go up until May, but I can't remember where I saw it.
Maybe it's good this organisation got involved, and that's if that's true. But who would want to? It's almost like, what, we're going down to baby age now, and they want to segregate the babies from the parents. I know they're not, but I'm just saying, where does it stop?
Yes, where does it stop?
And everybody should look at that, shouldn't they, Amy? They should look at the CDC thing. And on BitChute, I was watching a video with a man breaking that down, and yeah, it's a load of rubbish.
Yes. This is probably the most sinister thing I think we've seen in the history.
Well, maybe it's all
man.
been sinister. You know, the First World War, the Second World War, the Korean War.
Yes.
We've had the Iraqi War. We've had 9/11.
Yes.
They're all sinister.
Yes.
We just didn't realise.
Yes. But as awful as those things were, it didn't personally attack every single person's life, if you know what I mean.
Like this one, you mean?
I mean, yeah, like this is.
I mean, does it make you feel a bit down? Because I feel quite down today. I don't know whether I'm picking up on all the people out there, because the Ethernet's like a big wire, and I don't know, I can feel things. I just feel really low. It's just flattening.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel that too.
When is this going to stop? I want to know. If we listen to Claudio, it's going to 24.
Right, that's true.
And you know what else? Like, Amy found this document where they're testing out all this stuff and putting them into situations that haven't happened. But what it is it was called SPARS. This COVID is called SPARS. It's almost the same word. Like, this could be the end result of that project they were doing. They just brought it forward. Instead of doing it in 2024, they're doing it now.
Right.
All these people, I'm sorry, they all need to go to prison.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
We need to probably empty the prisons out of all the people that are in there now and stick them in it.
That's right. That's for sure.
I mean, you know what? I wanted to be a counsellor, right? I wanted to help people. But then I realised that the law is an arse, because when I'm looking at you, the law doesn't protect me, it protects you. And then the other person's looking at me, the law doesn't protect them, it protects me. So you can't really help anybody. It's just an arse.
Right. Right, that's true.
And they keep changing the laws on purpose.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, if I could find this piece of land and it was a big island, maybe we need to take over Greenland. We all need to go and live on there. We wouldn't have these kind of rules.
Yes, even my daughter said that the other night. She just wants to move to an island somewhere, get away from all of this.
Yeah.
Just awful, I know.
Well, that's that story there. Well, at least they haven't included babies.
Yes.
Prince William's got a mask on, by the way. Prince William tested... What's that? Prince William tested positive for corona in April. What's that got to do with it now? There's all the other rubbish.
Yes.
But kept diagnosis secret. Oh my God, that's another one. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Ford Chief says COVID vaccine likely to be given to every person over 50 who needs it by Easter. We don't want it!
No, we don't want it.
What else is in here? They're just lockdown news live. Boris Johnson puts England on stay-at-home orders. Don't travel to England, Sturgeon warns. So you can't leave because you won't better get back in.
Right.
UK extends 80% wage subsides as England goes back into lockdown. I just find it's really crazy that they are destroying the economy right now. Every moment of the day, it's destroying it.
Yes, and they're gonna just break people down is what's gonna happen, because people, they're not, they won't stand up. So many people are so afraid they're gonna die that they won't live. You're not living this way, and they're gonna bring the people down, and eventually they'll be so tired of the lockdowns and the masks and all that they'll say, whatever I have to do to not live this way under lockdown. And then they'll want to give the injections, the vaccines.
Hey Amy, what's this? Trump supporters block major New Jersey highway. Oh, blocks it ahead of the 2020 election. Sorry, I was thinking it was a bridge you couldn't go over.
Oh.
I'm just going through the headlines.
Yeah. I hadn't heard that.
Trump reportedly plans to declare victory before election is called.
I did see that.
Well, that's because he knows the answer. Do you know what? Look, I know that it just reminds me of William so much at times, Boris does. 5 unanswered questions about the new national coronavirus lockdown. I'm not reading anymore. Oh, all these people here, all their little actor friends.
Yes.
Well, we've got Mr. Bean here. He stood up and said something. I really liked what he said. That's on Unscrambled.
Yes.
Trump faces backlash over claims doctor get cash for COVID. Yes, don't they?
That's right. Yeah. Money is often, if you want to know what's going on, you ask who benefits. Key bono, who benefits, and look at where the money is going. You generally get your answer.
In the middle of all this stuff, it's got 50-year-old dating, meet singles like you. Right in the middle of all these things. And I'm just going for the headlines that US election 2020 news. Donald Trump addresses supporters in Michigan. Live updates. No thanks. I must admit, I've got 3 channels. I've got the Unscrambled channel, which might, if you put the truth channel in, or the Unscrambled channel, it will take you there. And I've also got Sun and Moon Part 2. It's Sun and Moon Part 2, and I'm putting videos out on Sun and Moon, but I don't know if what do you put on the other channels? Just carbon copy it over? I don't know. There's a typhoon Goni rapidly weakens after lashing the Philippines.
Wow.
Russia's remote regions struggle to cope with burgeoning crisis cases. Oh my God, on COVID. Oh my God. Trump has gone a long way towards hindering democracy in their country. Communism, you mean? He's supporting communism or something. I'm just going down. They're just little headlines. I'm not going into any of them. We've done our bit, really, Amy. I think we're talking about it enough. What time do the polls close? State by state guide to results. US election, Trump victory could have huge ramifications for the planet, says Ed Miliband. What do you mean you're working together with him?
Well,
Trump finds unlikely backers in prominent pro-democracy Asian figures. Whatever. Anyway, do you think we should finish now, Amy? I could keep going. I think that we're at the end now. There's one more here that you should see. Corono Transport for London bailout of 1.8 billion agreed by government. Where are they getting all this money from? They don't have any money, and then suddenly they've got all this money to pay us, give us benefit. The whole thing. It's just incredible. Well, because they plan. Anyway, we're back at the top. There we go with the picture of what happens. At least babies aren't included in this, which is good.
yes.
Anyway, Amy, thank you so much for your time, darling.
Oh, you're welcome, Karen.
We're just sorry to everybody, aren't we? It's not our fault, but it's just sorry. Just.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, big hugs, my darling, and thank you very much, chat room.
Oh, you too.